Hi guys, what's good? Forgive me on today's camera quality, sound, everything, but if I don't shoot this video today, I don't know when I'll have time again. And the Holy Spirit has just been convicting me that I have to actually shoot this video because it's going to help someone out there. So first of all, my name is Tiffany Sorogeye, that Nigerian based in Ghana, Christian content creator. What's good? So many of you know that I am a Nigerian based in Ghana, yes. And I actually acquired my Canadian visa here in Ghana, yes, as a foreigner. Before I started my faith-based content, my main focus on this channel was to always give foreigners tips and tricks on how to go about certain things in this country, Ghana, because this is not our country and all that. So I'm just going to give you guys the tips and steps I followed to actually getting my Canadian visa here in Ghana as a foreigner living in Ghana. Now, this might not work for you, but I do hope it works for you. Okay, let's just put that disclaimer there. As a foreigner living in Ghana, the first thing first, before you even think of applying for a Canadian visa, is, do you have a passport? Yes. I've heard the story so many times that some people don't have passports and they're trying to like do this process. It's not even possible, number one, because when you're filling up forms online, they're going to ask you for your biodata, like your passport, the front page, the biodata. I'm going to ask you for that. Guys, hold up. If you're hearing any background noises, I am so sorry. Like I said, I just closed and I had to shoot this video because if I get home, my son will not give me a chance. Anyways, so the first thing I want to do is literally have a passport. You need a passport, right? Of course, you won't be in Ghana if you don't have a passport, but there's a way that some of you come from Nigeria, especially without a passport. But just know that if you want to go to Canada, you have to have a passport. So the next thing is getting a letter of invitation. Now, I have an auntie that's over there. I think I've been vocal about this before. She wrote me a letter of invitation, and in that invitation letter, she stated that I was her niece, blah blah blah, I was coming for summer, blah blah blah. Even though we know that we went to go have a baby, we were coming for summer, because I don't know how you're pregnant and you're still writing that you did it for pregnancy. They might not give it to you. Did you hear that? No, you didn't. Anyways, that was what she put on my letter, and she put like the dates that I was looking at. Of course, I wasn't looking at a far date like that, but we're just trying to do it like for summer, because you know that if you write like the further the dates, the more chances of them approving. I'll explain that later in the video. But yeah, so we put like summer, knowing well that we wanted to go like probably in March or April, because like I said, I was already pregnant. I don't know if I mentioned that I was already pregnant when I was applying for my visa, and I've said in the video before, my visa took 2 months, just 2 months, and it was out. Yes, but the process, the documentation gathering was the one that kind of took like a while. Not really a while, but like a month and a half. I was still trying to gather documentation and all that. So basically, your passport, you need an invitation letter. Then I work at a company. I had my company also write me like a letter as well, like it's sort of like a recommendation letter, just saying that, oh, I work with this company, because most of these places abroad, when you're applying for visas, they like to know that you have a steady income, number one. Number two, you have something that you're coming back to, because most times people go over there when they get visas and they don't come back again, so they want to know that, oh, you have a reason to come back. Yeah, that brings me to my third item, I think, which is like being married sometimes is always like a plus, because they know that, okay, you have your family and you're coming back. Yes, that's not a proven fact, but that's just what I think. So the other thing on my list that I had is that I showed them that I was a respectable citizen living in Ghana. Yes, how? I have a residence permit, actually a working permit, but if you don't have a job, you will have a possibly residence permit. You know, when the foreign officials or nationals or whoever that is checking doing your visa process, when they see things like this on your passports, and I'll tell you this for a fact because someone told me this recently when I traveled to Canada, they said that for the fact that I have this residence permit thing shows that I'm a very compliant citizen. I kid you not, that was the words, or those were the words of an immigration officer in Belgium, and like, this shows that you are a compliant citizen. It occurred to me at that point that this is one of the things that they probably look for when they're actually trying to give out visas, especially if you're a foreigner, because how are you coming with a Nigerian passport to actually apply for a Canadian visa in Ghana? Because this is Ghana. I'm not, of course it's a Canadian visa, of course it's not our country's visa, but this is Ghana. You are coming to apply in Ghana with this, you know, so it just gives you that subtle upper edge, you're going to also need proof of funds. Now for this proof of funds, it was two ways, right? I had my own proof of funds because I work, right? Then my husband served as a sponsor, yes, so he wrote a letter of sponsorship saying that he was going to sponsor my stay in Canada for the duration of XYZ with the amount of XYZ, yes. And also when you get that letter, it's also going to be part of the documents you upload with everything else you're uploading, and there's also going to be his own proof of funds as well. That was his own bit. I also had my proof of funds. Now many of you, when you want to do proof of funds, you start loading your accounts with a lot of money. See, most times the immigration or whoever is handling your Canadian visa process, they are not checking to see how much you have left. They're checking to see the amount of inflows. So because already I knew that I was going to travel soon, I started building up my accounts. What do I mean by building up my accounts? My husband will frequently send me some money, like maybe every other day, 10,000, 20,000. It's like a month and a half to do documentation, and my visa was out in 2 months after that. So let's say a month of 3.5 months, right? But 1.5 was just for documentation gathering. So it inside that 1.5 months, my husband would always like randomly, like maybe Wednesdays, Thursdays, just put some money minus what I also had in my account. That way we're actually building up my account. So when I was now going to print out my account statement and add to my documentation that I was going to upload, it looked nice, right? It looked really nice. And I'm also a salary earner, so that was cool. But I knew that I needed like a heavy account as to show backing. So let's not be like, oh, without your sponsor, if you get stranded, can you sort yourself out? Yes, I can sort myself out. That was the whole plan, right? So another thing is some people ask for police certification, but it's not needed. They might ask you for medical certificate. That's if you're declaring that you're going there for treatment or to have a baby. They want to see how your feet and all that. They might ask for that. Yeah, so when you necessarily do that, and when you go on the IRCC portal, that I'll leave the link in my description, literally you're going to be asked a lot of questions like your full name. Please do not make a mistake. Now I'm going to tell you how God came through for me when I was doing my visa application. I made a very silly mistake when I was asked for my given name, like when I was filling the form online. I don't know, I left out my middle name. I don't know why I did that, but I left it out. So when I finished everything and I submitted my whole documentation and all that, usually when you submit, you'll be asked to go to the VFS office to do your biometric. So almost after you finish submitting, if God is on your side, I'm kidding, of course God is on your side, but by the grace of God, maybe after 2 days they'll send you an email that, oh, come and do your biometrics at VFS, the closest VFS to you. So mine came 2 days after, and I went, and when I got there, so sorry before that, they will email you a document as well, which you're supposed to take to the VFS office. So I took my document to the VFS office, right? And there they saw that my middle name was missing, and they were like, oh, they can't accept it, that I can do an appeal, sending my bio data and telling them to correct my name, so that they reissue the biometric request to me. And I was like, oh my God. That night I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I was like, God, what is happening? Because it took a while for me to like get my documents together. Like I said, I took 1.5 months just gathering documentations. Oh my, it wasn't easy. So I was just like, what is going on? So I really started praying and hoping to God. I'm like, God, if this is you saying I should go to Canada, please, you know, Canada was never my agenda, or my husband has said it's nice in my mind. So please, I'm pregnant with this baby, please help me. I want my baby to be a Canadian citizen. So literally, God being so good, after I'd done the correction, I think 3 days later, they sent me an email saying that, okay, they've done the correction. And I was like, wow. I logged into my portal and I saw that the information was corrected. So quickly did I go there, and, you know, they took my biometrics, and I should just watch my portal. So if there's any information, an email will be sent to me, and I'll just always go to my portal to see. So when they send you an email, by the way, like, they're not like IRCC, that's like Canadian immigration. When they send you an email, they don't send you what they want to talk about in that email. They'll just say to go and check. There's an update on your portal, so you go to your page or whatever and go and check what the update is. So at this time, I was now waiting. I was like, God, you know, I was just really hoping and waiting, you know, for like 1 month. I didn't hear from them. Then I now confided in a friend of mine. I remember if I've confided in 2 friends. The first one I told her, and she was like, hey, she was even a Ghanaian, and she was like, she applied for a Canadian visa since 2020 and she didn't get it though. I was just feeling bad. Like, I was just feeling so bad. Like, I'm like, hey, me that I'm moving a foreign national, what makes me think I will get this thing? But then that was the devil trying to lie to me. And that's why sometimes when you want to go on such journeys, or you're trying to apply for stuff, keep your mouth shut until it works through. So I was already feeling that way, and I was like, you know what, let me just get my mind away from this thing, and like, I might not even get the visa. So to make matters worse too, another friend of mine who's like my best friend, shout out to you, girl, she was like, oh, her friend, what's it called, her friend told her that the waiting time for Canadian visitors visa takes 259 days, so I should not think of getting it. But I just had so much faith, like I will get it, you know, because I was like, I've prayed about this thing now. Usually if I pray about something and it's not right, Holy Spirit just find a way of prompting me and telling me that, babes, you're over dreaming. So I prayed about it, and you know, I was just hoping and hoping, and fast forward, I got an email. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, because what God cannot do does not exist. Okay, so anyways, then I went to pick up my visa. Yeah, they'll ask you to bring your passport. Yeah, so they said bring your passport for collection. So I went to the VFS office, dropped my passport, and yeah, I think after 3 days I got another email saying I should come and pick up my passport, and bam, my Canadian visa was stamped there. And yes, visitors visa of Canada what am I saying? Canadian visitors visas, right? Let me just give you guys a tip. If your passport is about to expire, find a way to go and renew it. Don't go and get a Canadian visa with a passport that's going to expire next year, because they will give you, how do I say, before hey God, English. So literally, most times, in most cases, they give you the duration of your visitor's visa depends on the duration of the expiry date on your passport. Yes, so if your passport is expiring, like for example 2035, let's say, that's the duration they'll give you the passports, the visa up to. Yes, I think so. In most cases, most people I've seen, that's what they've done. That's what they did for myself as well. And yeah, so I have free entry to Canada till my passport expires. And yes, that's basically it. I don't know who this video could help or would help, but it's been triggering me. It's been in my mind since we just shoot this video and try to encourage someone to go and apply for that Canadian visa, regardless if you're a Nigerian living in Ghana. Just make sure that you have a good record, police record. Yes, because don't have bad record in this country and try to apply for a visa to Canada, because it might catch you. If you know you're working here or living here, have a permit on your passport. It really helps. I don't really know if it's really true that they look out for those things, but someone telling me that in another country, it kind of shows that maybe they do. Visitation letter, have somebody over there that can write a visitation letter. And yeah, proof of funds. Make sure build your account. If you know that, okay, I want to go and apply for a visa, don't just wake up and do it spontaneously. No, try to build your own account as well. It shows that you too, that you're traveling, you have something to offer yourself. I'm just doing this video because it took me, I want to say it was up to 2 months. I don't think it was even up to 2 months, because I submitted the application in January, and like first week of February it was out. Yeah, like I had my Canadian visa, like that's what I'm saying. So given from the time they called me that, oh, come and drop your passport, yeah, that's what I'm even calculating for you guys as 2 months. So yeah, it basically took that short. And these are the things that I just had, being a foreigner that is living in Ghana. Yeah, no special sprinkling. You know, I always come through with all these steps and hacks on how to, you know, go about in this country as a foreigner. I hope this information helped. If it didn't really help, if you need more clarification, like I always say, my DM is always open. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Bye, love you, stay blessed, and remember, put God first in everything you want to do. Ask God, is Canada for me before you go.